Try not to overreact. Try not to on a Monday. We'll try to as we blend a couple shows together here on Orange Bloods Live today. For those of you watching live, sorry we got started a little bit late, but sometimes technical is going to technical. President's Day technical issues can happen.
Spectrum and I are in a really bad relationship, Chad. Like we are. I need to break up with Spectrum and stop complaining about it. But you know what? Sometimes Spectrum does just enough, Chad, where I'm like, well, maybe I'll be okay. Maybe it'll be okay. But Spectrum Internet, there's a representative who watches this show. I got to let you know. It sucks. It just sucks. And the only thing that's worse is the fact that I complain about it every week and never get rid of them.
Yeah, that is true. Whatever that last little adjustment you made, you've looked great so far. So we are going to continue to cross our fingers that it's going to be all right today. By the way, I'm Chad Hastings. That is Anwar Richardson. No Jeff Ketchum today on Orange Bloods Live. We are thinking of Ketch today. He's attending the funeral of a friend of his, and we certainly think about that family today, all that the group of friends and colleagues today. And for those of you that may have lost someone also recently, we're thinking about you today on this Monday. Hope everybody is having a good day off, maybe from work, from school, just chilling out, watching the show. And we already had kind of something to talk about, Anwar. We will have even more to talk about because there's been another update in the coaching staff, support staff world for the Longhorns. So we will get that. If you want to throw in a super chat, we can do it. And in fact, you could do just what Sark After Dark did for a couple bucks. Can we just hire Chris Gilbert as the running backs coach? Maybe we'll have that discussion today. But if you want to throw us a super chat, throw something in the old tip jar, we appreciate it. Don't worry, Sark After Dark. We will be talking running backs coach for sure. But like I said, there's another update that we will get to real quick before we do it. As we mentioned, it's kind of a combined show today. Normally Ketch and Anwar bring you the overreaction show, and then Ketch and I bring you House Divided at noon. So it'll kind of be a little of both. You see the overreaction, graphic up. Let's throw the extra Rogue Shop up to give them their love. If you need a little relaxation, if you got a little too much anxiety, you got a little too much something in your world, hit this website. Go look at all the different things they can do for you. Maybe you have a pet that is out of their mind. They got stuff for your pets too. They got stuff for everybody, your whole family, including the four-legged versions. Check them out. Texas home for legal CBD, THC, and more. RogueShop.com. Great website. Chat's always ready to go. They're ready to help you. And thanks to Rogue for all their assistance. Anwar, speaking of assistance, one of those guys people don't always think of on a football team. But when it goes bad, they'll start thinking about it. That's strength and conditioning. We have an update today in that part of the world. I saw your report earlier on orangebloods.com. Let's fill people in on somebody Sark was able to save from going to the pros.
Yeah. And just let me know if you met in the private chat, if you can hear me or not. You're frozen on my end, so I don't know what the hell's going on. But I was able to piece enough together. What you were asking me is kind of like when I talk to my girl and and I'm around her family, they speak Spanish. I got enough to figure out where we're going with this. Tory Becton, he's a guy that I've had that NFL teams have been kind of going after for the past couple of years. He's viewed as one of the better guys in the industry. And last week, I was told that the Jets made a run at Tory Becton, and if you in Chad, you'll know this, and because of course I had to make sure, but the Jets just got a new coach. So they're trying to fill out a staff at this moment. And Becton was the guy that they looked at as a strength and conditioning coach. And they put a contract offer in front of him. Don't have the specifics on it, but they did put a contract offer in front of him. And, Sark doesn't want to lose Tory Becton. But you damn sure don't want to lose Tory Becton after you just lost to Short Choice. Like that's a 1-2 combination that you just are not wanting to have. And yeah, Benji, when you say the Jets, yes, because Aaron Glenn is a new coach. Aaron Glenn was hired on January 22nd, so he's kind of trying to fill out the rest of his staff. He's just had about, I think, 6 hires recently, and so and so they're able to keep Chad a key component for it, and we could talk more about, I can tell you more about Tory Becton and the impact that he has and what he means to the program, but keeping him and not allowing him to go to the NFL, I think was a major win for Texas because of what he means to them, especially here as they're going through all season programming and the winter conditioning portion of it. Now, if I'm Tory Becton, the hell I'm going to go to New York and pay those kind of taxes. Like what? Come on, Tory. I would like, Tory, you sure you bluffing? Are you really going to pay those taxes up there? Like, I don't know if you want to do that. But at the end of the day, all that matters is that Sark wasn't willing to take that chance. And Texas avoids losing another guy to the NFL, which again, they lose Tory Becton. We're having a much different show.
So, Anwar, this is an interesting show. Apparently, they're hearing me fine. They're hearing you fine. You and I may not be hearing each other fine. So it's going to be an interesting kind of combination of shows. But apparently, we both sound terrific. So that is great. Let me throw this graphic up as I ask.
The good part is, it's all restream.
That's right. It's all those connections of it. So as long as you can get enough of what I'm saying, I'm getting enough of what you're saying. So let me ask this as I change that graphic to House Divided. Any truth to the conspiracy theory that a bunch of old Aggies are just trying to rip Sark's staff apart? First, it's Dan Campbell with the running backs coach, and now Aaron Glenn. Geez, what's happening?
I like conspiracy theories. That's a good one. But, at the end of the day, Texas fans are living in a world where, be quite honest with you, they're not used to it. When I say you're not used to it, just allow me a second, right? You're not used to it because you haven't had strong staffs in the past. When you look at Charlie Strong's staff and what they had there, you didn't have people wanting to poach any of those guys and take those guys. Charlie ends up firing a lot of those guys who were on his staff. Like he got rid of all of them. By the time it was done, Charlie only had one original hire that remained from when he got there, and that was Brian G. Marie. Everybody else was gone. So you never had that. And you never had guys getting promoted either. Then, you had Tom Herman come in. Tom Herman, I think after year 3, he fires 7 of his original staff members. And then he goes into the final season, and that ends up being that for Tom Herman, right? So we're not used to seeing a bunch of strong staffs. We didn't see that guys getting promoted and elevated. But what's happening is, you had Sark who's arrived here, and he put together a very strong staff and a staff that is so strong that people are wanting to get those guys. These are good problems. These are first world problems, right? These are the problems that you want to have. But this is where it's at. Now look, and I'll go. Let's go through the list of Sark's original hires. You've had Jeff Banks, who was one of Sark's original hires. He just got an extension. You've had Jeff Choate, who was one of the original hires as the linebackers coach. He's now Nevada's head coach. You had Andre Coleman, who's no longer coaching to my knowledge. You had Bo Davis, who's now at LSU. You had Stan Drayton, who got promoted to be coach at Temple, is now at Penn State. You've had Kyle Flood, who's here and has been doing a great job. You had Blake Gideon, who was recently hired as Georgia Tech's defensive coordinator. You have Terry Joseph. You have Pete K, and you have A.J. Milwee, and then Becton. So you've had guys then who's moved on from the staff, and that's the original staff, right? And then you've had guys who've come in, and let's say like a Brendan Marion, who came in, and the next thing you know, he ends up being promoted to an offensive coordinator off of Sark's staff at UNLV. He's now a head coach over at Sacramento State. And And then of course, you've had this recent departure here. So the thing is, I love the conspiracy theory, but the reality of it, it's a good problem to have, which is that Texas has good coaches, and they have coaches that these people want. There's another coach on staff that the NFL is looking at, and that's a possibility as well. And so, and we'll see how it plays out this week. Guys, there's some good problems, but these also may create challenges because you have to replace them.
Yeah, and we'll get right into that because there's a couple chatters that are kind of throwing that stuff out too. So again, Tory Becton does get an extension and is not going to head to the NFL. Aaron Glenn trying to build out the staff and the support staff with the Jets, trying to keep up with where everybody is right now. But great news for Texas. Tory Becton's going to stay. We'll get into that other story. We'll get into the running backs coach deal as well. Also, we will thank some of our great partners. The other day, this is what Anwar wanted to see. He was a little disappointed. I'm going to give Anwar the AV spot twice this week. Twice. I'm going to let him hear it and see it twice. Here's Tom and Camilla, and then we will talk. Then we will get on Anwar's thoughts on maybe that other coach that's on the staff that you may need to think about, but also the running backs coach update and what Sark's thinking there. Don't move. Here's the AV spot in case you need that new TV or new TVs.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations. We've been providing custom electronic systems for Central Texas for more than 36 years. And
old man, I think they all know who you are and what your company does. This is Camilla McKay. The old man believes in big fun and big ideas. He can make dreams come true, so why not dream big? I've been up in Boston, but I know the old man and all his friends and fellow radio heads have been spreading the holiday spirit here in Texas. Why should we stop there? Keep spreading the good feelings all over. Audiovisual Consultations carries all major brands of televisions and stereo equipment at prices you can't find in stores. And you don't have to leave your house. Just like Santa, they deliver the gifts to you.
Yeah, I like that, kid. Throw a party, hang out with your friends, catch a concert.
That's all fun and good, but can we get back to the business? You can give us a call at 512-255-8678 or visit our website at avconsultations.com for some cool electronics.
Oh, now you're forgetting something.
And as always, hug your kids. We only pretend to be annoyed. Watch some games with
All right. Glad you guys are jumping in on a Monday. We apologize for any technical weird stuff today, but we're trying to get it figured out. Great news with Tory Becton hanging out with Texas. Is going to stay, get the extension. Not just staying, but always good to get the extension, get a little extra money. Anwar, you made a reference just a second ago, and it reminded me of this chat from KD35. I am the best. Wonderfully specific name. Anwar, I hear there might be another coach still out the woods yet. So do we know who that might be with the eye emojis and running back coach update? So Anwar, I will give you the floor on kind of the reference you made, but also the running back coach deal. Where do we start here? What can you tell us? Uh-oh. Did enough come through? Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay, Chad. I didn't know if you stopped or not. I would say I don't know what other people reported, I'll be honest with you, so I'm not quite sure at this moment. But I would just say I would just say when the time comes, I'll make, I'll put it, I'll say it. But I think right now, unless someone else has said it, and if someone else has reported it, that's one thing. But right now, it's a little bit tougher. Just give me a little bit on that one. Give me a little bit on that one, Chad.
Okay, gotcha. In terms of let's see. Yeah, so that cleans off the chat. If you guys want to throw us a super chat, we will certainly get to it. The other part of it, Anwar, running backs coach update, kind of the biggest thing we were going to hit today before, other than the Tory Becton situation. So with the running backs coach, can you hear me well enough to kind of maybe get into that and you Sark's thought process on the running backs coach?
Yeah. So as relates to the running backs thing, it's an interesting thing. There was there was a thought process, especially when Blake Gideon goes, that, you know what, we need to fill this thing right away. And, you know, at the end of the day, I hear what it's saying, you know, but I just, Vivek, what I would just tell you in the chat is that, you know, there's people who are okay with me putting out certain things, but not other things. And at the end of the day, if you want breaking news and you want accurate stories, there's a kind of a you gotta adhere to other people's rules. It's not up to me to step on anyone's toes. So it's just there's a method to the madness. And all I can do is tell you that, you know, someone last week said on another site reported, oh, well, there's someone getting NFL consideration, but they didn't say the name, right? So just trust me on it. Like it's not, I'm not playing cat and mouse here, but you know, at the end of the day, I'm not going to piss off my sources just for, you know, a random story on, you know, middle of February. So hopefully you can respect that. So there was a thought process that we need to get something done and find Gideon's replacement right away. And you know, Sark always liked Mark Orfeh, and that was kind of the guy that instantly was the person that he probably wanted to hire. You know, when it comes to the running backs room, Chad, it's a little bit tougher because Tashard Choice was kind of perfect for what Texas has and what Texas wants, right? You know, Tashard Choice was the guy that was a great recruiter, especially in the state of Georgia. He was also a great motivator. He was a great leader. He was also a spark plug, a fire plug when you needed it. But he also was a guy that, you know, understood like, hey, this is Sark and this is his offense and all these things. So it was almost a perfect blend of what you would want to have in a coach. And so when you lose that, you're trying to say, okay, well, how can I find someone who's as perfect and who fits in as well as Tashard Choice did? And so that's a harder thing to find because he really embodied everything that they wanted. So now if you Sark, you're saying to yourself, okay, well, how do I find somebody who is all of those things, you know, leader, good coach, recruiter, this and that. And then you got to decide, okay, do I want to go the NFL route again? And do I want to bring a guy in from the NFL? But then does that guy from the NFL want to recruit? Right? Because you can ask an NFL guy, Chad, but not all of those guys want to say, you know what? I want to spend time on the phone recruiting kids and setting up visits and pretty much working every weekend for 20, you know, for a year, right? And so, you know, so you have that, and then it's like, okay, well then if you get somebody, are you getting somebody who you're saying, well, this person has ties to the Houston area? Well, you just got Orfeh, so you don't necessarily need someone who has ties to the Houston area. Do you need someone who has ties to the Georgia area, right? You got to figure out, okay, where is this person's area of expertise and where can they be? And then it's going to be somebody who now, okay, if I can find that person, can I find someone who would blend in with the staff and be someone that all of us can get along with and work with and vibe with and who believes in the vision and all those things like these? There's a lot of things that go into the thought process, the things that have been explained to me, right? I'm not talking my theory. These are things that are explained to me. And so because these are things that are part of the thought process, that's why it's going to take a little bit longer to narrow down the list. And Sark has to talk to guys and kick the tires and say, all right, are you down with this? Are you good? What do you think? And then when he starts doing on his list, he'll find a person. But it's not as easy as I know for sure this is who the person is. It's almost as this guy, Tashard Choice, was so perfect. And then you kind of lose that perfect coach. And you're really trying to find like, okay, who can be as good or as effective as him? And that for him is going to take time. And it doesn't seem like Sark is willing to rush into a decision at this moment.
Obviously a big decision coming there for Sark. Anwar, the chatter jumped back in, kind of throwing the two sides out. Anwar, do you think it's going to be an NFL coach, running back coach, or is he going to get someone in college who already has the relationships built with recruits. It's
I mean, it's again, it is kicking, and they're kicking the tires on both at this moment, and that's why I said something. That's why I said something about do the guys want to recruit, right? Because you can go NFL running back coach, but does he want to recruit? You don't know. And then then you can go with someone who has built-in relationships. But then if you're Texas, how much you going to pay for this person, right? Or you to pluck them in there, and if you hire someone away from a major program, you're going to have to pay someone major dollars. So then, what do you do? And so that's why it's not. I think that's why they're sorting through. I think the process plays out throughout the week. I think we'll start getting a better idea and an understanding of where this thing could be a little bit later. But for right now, it is that whole feeling out process of what could make the best fit. And I don't think right now there's a perfect answer to that.
KD 35, we appreciate you there, Mr. KD, the real version, just going over 30,000 points. Pretty cool stuff there, and historically. Thank you for the chat. If you want to throw a super chat at us, it'll go right to the top of the list. Also, shout out, you see Texas Card House up on the screen. Shout out to them. If you are an online poker player in the state of Texas, it's back. Online poker. Remember the old days? Yeah. hijackpoker.com. Go there. You get that app. You put it on any device you want, and you can deposit and cash out at one of the 6 Texas Card House locations around the state. So check those out of what's the one closest to you. But also, no matter where you are in the state of Texas, you can enjoy Hijack Poker. hijackpoker.com. Be sure to check that out. Shout out to Texas Card House and their partnership. Anwar is going to jump out and back in, see if we can get an even better connection with him. We're getting through it. We're getting through it today, and we do appreciate you guys jumping in. Again, Tory Becton staying at Texas, getting an extension and staying at Texas. And obviously, we're talking about this running back coach position, and how Sark is going to fill it, taking his time a little bit more than maybe he did with that safeties coach hire, which kind of makes some sense. Got to get it the right way. And I think, the stuff Anwar's bringing up, you guys heard Ketch bring it up the other day when he talked about what was important to him in terms of a running backs coach. And he's really leaning heavily on that recruiting part of it, the relationship part of it, the living room part of it. But we've also talked about the fact that in terms of production at the running back position, it can even get a little better. It wasn't perfect these last couple of years. There's some injury things that go along with that, but you were not seeing a running back room that was shredding the rest of the country. You get to that point, if you're Texas, after two straight semifinal berths, and then you can crank that room up a little bit. I think that's another thing Sark is taking a look at. The 1,000-yard back every year is one thing. That doesn't always mean you're being dominant, though. It doesn't always mean you're really tearing folks up. We saw it this year. There were just times where the run game, when it absolutely was needed to close doors in games, sometimes it did show up. Yeah. But overall, you didn't have that feeling of like, oh my God, the Texas run game. In fact, there was plenty of time, you guys remember, middle to later part of the season, we didn't know if the 1,000-yard back was going to happen. But obviously, Wisner did get there. If you guys want to throw us a chat, we will certainly get to that. If you want to go super chat, we will throw that right to the top of the list. Again, Catch away from Orange Bloods Live today, attending that funeral, and we are certainly thinking about him today. Hope everybody's having a good day off from work, hanging out, enjoying the show, getting you all updated. Let's see if we can get Anwar back in here. Anwar, cross your fingers. All right, let's see. There he is. I see him. See him.
I mean, yeah. I think it is what it is.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But I was just mentioning Anwar, the comments that when Ketch and I were talking about this the other day, he leaned real heavy on the recruiting side of things, sort of the relationship part, the living room part. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it as you're, as Sark is thinking about this. You'd love to have the perfect version of everything, but would you agree with kind of where Ketch is going, that if you had to do something, you got to make sure the guy loves recruiting, and is a badass recruiter?
Can love recruiting? Yes. Love recruiting is one thing. Kick-ass recruiter is something else, Chad. And I'm not quite sure that, if you look at Sark's hires, Mark Orfe is not a guy that you would say he's a kick-ass recruiter. We don't know that. We believe that maybe he could be, but it's not like he's a kick-ass recruiter. Kenny Baker wasn't known as a kick-ass recruiter. That wasn't on his resume. Chris Jackson wasn't known as a kick-ass recruiter. That wasn't on his resume. So I think it's easy to say, yes, Sark should go after this guy with this reputation for being a kick-ass recruiter. But at the end of the day, that hasn't been his MO. He's gone after guys for different reasons. Now, look, he needs kick-ass recruiters. Don't get me wrong. But I still fall back on, Sark knows he can recruit. Jeff Banks can recruit. They've got guys on the staff who can recruit. They've got a good support staff that helps them out as well. And so I think if you're Sark, you say to yourself, as long as I can find a guy who is willing and able, we'll fill in the rest. If I'm Sark, I'm saying, look, man, at the end of the day, before I ever got to Texas, do you guys know I had the #1 recruiting class at USC? Texas didn't make me into an elite recruiter. I've always been a badass recruiter, and I'll teach and mold whoever the hell I bring in here. So I don't necessarily think Sark looks at someone and says, Rashard Samples, for instance. If I bring in Rashard Samples, man, he's going to be that guy that can really help me in that DFW area and help me lock it down and so on and so forth. I don't think he looks at it like that. I think he looks at it as saying, you know what, at the end of the day, I just need a guy who's willing to recruit, and we'll teach him the rest. He's just got to be willing to do the job.
Yeah, and I think that is an interesting way to look at it. And to that point, Anwar, in the chat earlier, somebody threw out the idea of what would the splash hire be, and somebody fired back with, well, it won't be the splash hire. That's not what Sark does. Sark's not about making a splash hire. He is about he might make that hire that's a little off the radar, but as you just laid out, the off the radar choices have, pardon the pun, the expression there, but the off the path choices have turned out pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's almost like, Chad. It's almost like they have like a system, and when you just plug people into your system. It's like the triangle offense, right? You're triangle offense, right? It's like you just plug people into the system. And that's what I feel like Sark's doing. I'll plug you into my system, and you will be successful. But you'll be successful because you're with me. Not necessarily we're successful because of you, right? And now, again, it sucks because you lose a guy like Rashard Choice. And again, I don't think anyone behind the scenes thought that Detroit, they were going to pay that buyout that he had. But Rashard Choice had a huge buyout, and the Detroit Lions paid it and it didn't blink. So that's how much they wanted him. They were like, hey, we'll pay this to get you. And now it's just a matter of, okay, now that being said, I think they'll lean towards fit, a little bit of resume. And I think that's will be important. And I think when you're coming off the #1 recruiting class, I don't think you hit the panic button.
By the way, Anwar, you talk about big boy, first world kind of stuff. Bravo to Texas for having that kind of buyout on Rashard Choice. I never would have thought the number would be that high, but correct me if I'm wrong. Your reporting we're talking like $800,000, $850,000, something like that, up near $1 million if you want to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have that number right? I know the technical stuff's hitting us. No, mate. No.
Yeah, I believe. What number
is it
did
around
you say?
800? 800,000 that I read in your report.
It was like 800,000. Let me see what I had in here. I believe it was 800. I had it in my Sunday pulpit, by the way. Let me look and see if I find it real quick. But I'm pretty sure. Give me one second. I'm pretty sure, or did I have it in the? Yeah, 850. There you go. 850 was
that's
his
big
buyout.
boy stuff. That's big boy stuff for Texas to have in place. And it's big boy for the line to pay it.
I don't know. I don't know if I can get anybody to do that. That loves me that much,
I wish.
Chad.
I wish somebody'd pay $8 to talk to me, much less 800 grand. My God, that's unreal. Okay, Anwar, since we are having these technical issues, let me ask this. Is there anything else that you want to get out on the running backs coach situation before we kind of, wrap things up here? I know these technical issues are getting a little crazy for you, but anything else?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do from a technical standpoint, since it's kind of crappy on my end, I'm gonna probably bounce out and let you do the last 30 minutes. No, I think we're good as far as that is concerned. I think we've covered all the bases as far as that thing. It'll be a slow process, but as long in Sark you trust. And that's where if you're a Texas fan, that's exactly where you have to be. You have to be in Sark I trust. And any of the guys that Sark has hired, if you think about all of them, a lot of these guys have been upgrades. Like a lot of the guys that Sark has hired has been an upgrade. You look at Kenny Baker, you can argue he was an upgrade over Bo Davis. You look at Chris Jackson, you can argue that he's been an upgrade because he was the Rivals National Recruiter of the Year, right? You look at a Johnny Nansen coming in, and he's a huge upgrade to the point that he just got an extension. That thing that came out on Saturday. So that you look at it and say to yourself, whoever Sark has lost, typically he's done as good, if not better, with the next hire, and that's what you have to have faith and hope for going forward.
All right, we will keep our eyes peeled on all that info. And again, let me throw up the code real quick here. And there's Anwar ducking out with that crazy Wi-Fi. Check out Anwar's stuff at orangebloods.com. He had an update on Becton today. I was just checking it out right before the show. The quick Monday nuggets. Tory Becton receives an extension. If you missed that, you need to be checking it out. You need to check out orangebloods.com. Plus, he mentioned the extensions over the weekend, and there were some of those. I know Anwar, I believe it was Anwar that had that, right? Yeah, the extensions that were officially announced for Sark and a couple others from the weekend. And let's see, where did it go? There it is. Yeah. So remember, on Sundays you want to hit the pulpit, the Sunday pulpit with Anwar, and it was Sark, and he just mentioned yes, right, Sark and a couple. Who are the others? Why am I not finding it? Yeah. Where did it go? I know it's here. Now I can't find it. Anyway, but Sark and a couple of the other guys did get the updates on all of that, and Anwar lays it out for you. And I think it was in the Sunday pulpit. If you go check that out, I'm probably just not seeing it because I'm trying to read through it kind of quickly here. Where was it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, and Anwar breaks it down for you in terms of the thought process going in here. And it was the Sunday pulpit where he mentioned the $850,000 buyout for Tashard Choice that the Detroit Lions paid. All right. So there you have it. Glad you guys are jumping in today. Thanks to Anwar for his time. I had some buy or sell for Anwar. I may throw them at you guys. You guys here in a second. And yes, Big Cheddar. Becton gets the raise and extension. Sark getting that raise. And I think it's Sark, Milwee, and there's somebody else I'm not thinking of that got a raise. And I don't know why. It's is it PK? Maybe PK? I think that. Oh, and Joseph, I believe, that got an extension as well. That is who I'm trying to think of. All right. So, yeah, the big stuff today. We were already going to talk running backs coach, and then the Becton extension happens as we are getting ready. All right. So I'll throw a little buy or sell at you guys, tell you some other things I'm thinking about around Longhorn world and the sporting world here in just a second. Also, a reminder for you drinkers out there, if you have not hit the Deep Eddy Vodka tasting room, get out there. Pineapple's ready for you. They got 9 flavors now that Pineapple has debuted. That means they're making some awesome cocktails out there with the pineapple. I haven't had them yet. You guys need to get out there and tell me about it. I'm making my plans to make a trip out to beautiful Dripping Springs for that. There's your Thursday through Sunday hours. Make your plans. They're all about fun out there. Take your friends, take your family, just have a good time. Indoor, outdoor seating, depending on where the weather is, because we are in one of those times where sometimes the weather's really nice and sometimes the weather gets a little bit crazy. So whatever you got going on, check out the Deep Eddy Vodka tasting room. You will enjoy it. If you can't get out to the tasting room, but you need a little Deep Eddy, or you need a new bottle of whiskey, or you need a bottle of wine, maybe. There is a sale going on at Specs. Get ready.
Ooh la la, what a fabulous selection! I think I found my perfect pairing. You and Specs low prices.
Specs huge wine sale going on now.
Yes, indeed. Always good to get stocked up at Specs. If you have not done that lately, it might be a good idea. Might be something. You just passed Super Bowl. You just got all that done. So you may need to get to Specs and get everything updated. If you want to throw in a quick chat or super chat, we will do that. And we will continue to keep our eyes on the Texas coaching staff and all that. I think Anwar's point about this is what you want as a fan base and what has not always happened through the years. I think it's good. It's true, but you got to keep them too. And doing what they've done with Becton, getting the quick hire with replacing the safeties coach. Now we'll see what they do with the running backs coach. Obviously will be a big deal. All right. Let's see. Before we wrap it up, let me we'll throw a quick couple of these out here. How about a little buy or sell basketball wise? Let's give the basketball team some love. Men going to make the dance. Women will make the Final Four. We ready to go that far? Ready to go that far? I think I might be with these ladies team. My God. They're number 3, just beat number 5 like that. Fight back from a terrible first half. Madison Booker misses every shot she took in the first half or first quarter. Maybe it was the first half. Missed her first 11 shots, I believe was the number. And they still won the game. Still won it. 10 in a row. That's, I think, 6 wins against top 10 teams and like 8 or 9 wins against ranked teams. It's just impressive what they're doing. I'm going to buy this right now. I think the men are going to find enough to sneak in. They got the win over Kentucky. I think they'll find that 7 number. They just need 2 wins now in conference to get to 7. So I'll say this is a buy for me. Y'all let me know what you think. And if you got out there to the women's game, saw them take down Kim and LSU, or maybe you been out there checking out the men's team. They got a big late run there. Those were 2 games. Both those teams get time off right now. Men don't play till Saturday. The women don't play until a week from today, a week from when I'm talking on the 17th. They don't play till the 24th. Somebody not believing in the men. I get it, Esrone, saying sell the men won't. It's game by game. It is game by game. But right now I'm going to say they make the turn, not win a game, just make the tournament, make the field. But we will see. We will see what happens there. Vivek throwing in a quick comment on the Sark stuff. Sark still cares about having Georgia ties, et cetera, for recruiting purposes, though. I would, it's a big deal. You get it if you can. That's a huge, huge state. Definitely agree with you, Vivek. You want to be able to have that. All right. In terms of the next one, how about this? I was going to give this to Anwar, give it to all of you. Buy or sell number 2, you watched the NBA All-Star game, and they're headed in the right direction. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought. Because one of the ways I react to stuff like that is, are the players engaged at all? Do they care? Are they into it? It feels like they're kind of into it. Right now, I'm I feel more like the old school guy. I'm like what Draymond Green was. If y'all saw the broadcast on TNT, that's my reaction. I'm in Draymond's camp where it's like, this isn't real basketball. What are we doing? And I'm just old man on the porch. That is exactly what it is. But if it's something Steph Curry likes, that's more important than me liking it. If it's something the players can engage with, that's more important. Here's somebody saying they just didn't watch. Text guy didn't watch at all. Cotton says nope to both. Okay, so didn't watch, and maybe doesn't think they're going the right direction. First off, that court was hard to watch. That's a lot of blue and yellow to put on one court. And the NBA has gone out of its mind over the last few years. Well, again, old man comment here, but it's kind of hard to physically watch the game because your courts are weird looking. Like, how strange can you make these courts look before I'm just not interested in what it was hard to watch last night. That much damn blue on a basketball court, it's hard to watch. So I peeked in on it, and I'm thinking, okay, you're playing to 40 and there's a couple semifinals and then a final, but I'm kind of with Draymond in that, well, now we can't talk about scoring titles anymore. You can't talk about scoring title. Oh, he scored 52 or this guy scored 55. Well, now you're not doing full games, so we can't do those comparisons. Just like you can't tell me somebody got a better 3-point contest score than Larry Bird or Craig Hodges. No, he didn't. You threw extra basketballs out there and you put different points. The point total's not the same. So then once you change that up, we can't have the history, but we just got to find something they care about. If they care a little more, maybe. And you know what, H-Dog, I kind of agree with you here. The only real all-star game left is in baseball. NFL had to adjust because of safety. Basketball has had to adjust because of apathy. Frankly, the players just stopped caring. And now they're trying to figure out a way to care again. H-Dog, you might be right. Hockey does an okay, I think, all-star game still. I've always loved the idea of NASCARs because they just put a pile of money at the finish line. Not literally, but that they came up with that years ago. Winner gets $1 million. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Golf does a great job of that too, right? How do you get everybody to show up to these big events that might not be a major? Do you see what the winner got this past weekend at the Genesis event? That's how you do it. Get the purse together. I don't know how they haven't figured that out in basketball. Same thing for the dunk contest. Hey, how do we get them to want to do the dunk contest? Pile of money. That's how you do it. Pile of money. Speaking of buy or sell number 3, Mac McClung's 3 wins in a row will get someone who should be in the dunk contest to do it. Buy or sell. What do y'all think? We saw responses on social media from Ja Morant. He's one of the first guys people think of. Who else? They think of the Greek Freak sometimes. People have talked about wanting him to be in it. What's the cat's name from the big dude that went to Duke and blew his shoe out? And what's Zion Williamson? People have talked about these different guys throughout the years. And I think Zach LaVine threw out a social media. He's won a couple. And he said, well, maybe this will make me want to get back in it. Do you actually think McClung makes these guys want to come back? Because I don't know. I'm the old man that'll tell you, I think McClung is like Spud Webb 2.0. That's about all he is to me. Spud Webb for 1 year was entertaining. You can't make Spud Webb at the dunk contest every year. You can't. What happens if only Spud Webb would have wanted to do the dunk contest back in the day? Eventually, the freakishness of that wears off. So Mac McClung, what does he do well? He hits his first dunk. He uses props well. He's nailing the dunks, and no one else is in it that matters. Like nobody. But then go to McClung. McClung has played in, I think, 1 or 2 more NBA games than he's won dunk contests. Like he shows up wearing the jersey of his G League team. What are we? Shouldn't the NBA dunk contest be comprised of NBA players? Like full time, like on the roster NBA? I don't know. It's entertaining. I've watched it. I've watched in the last 3 years. He's come up with some great dunks. Are the announcers overcooking it? Yep. Has he saved the dunk contest? No. No, he has not. No. And yes, Rex, you're absolutely right. That's what I'm saying. It's got a 2.0 factor to it. He's 6'2" and not, what was Spud, 5'7". It was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to see. I wouldn't want to see Spud Webb every year, over and over and over again, and then nobody does it. Like Spud did it, but then Neek said no, Michael said no, and they all just duck out. When they all started ducking out, it was rough. I wish we could go back in time and Kobe would have done it more. I can't remember if Kobe even did one, but I know he didn't do a lot, and LeBron never did it. I don't think LeBron ever did one. And then eventually it died out, man. It's a sport that's gotten watered down in a ton of ways, and they're trying to find the interest. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the issue is and what they need to do. But this has gotten some energy to them. Says I need someone to dunk over an F-150 with a lift kit. Ben, that would be awesome. They do need to drag some big trucks in there. That would be a good idea. And Rex, again, it's just sort of the principle of it to me. He's a G League player. If the league is happy with it, which I guess they are, even last night he said, yeah, this may be it. I don't know if he wants to do it again, but something about that dunk contest makes them not want to do it. I've never understood it. I don't know if it's a physical thing. We've heard for years that the home run derby will mess up your swing in baseball, but I feel like more of the studs do it. And they've adjusted that event a little bit to make it a little less wear and tear. We still get the excitement of watching those guys go yard. I dig the home run derby every year, and I dig watching, the dunk contest, but it has lost a ton of fire. It's lost a ton of steam over the years. Congrats to Mac McClung, and hopefully the NBA can figure out its all-star game moving forward. I don't love it. I end up liking parts of it, but I can tell I like it more when they like it. They don't like it. So what I know they like is Mac McClung. The guys in the crowd reacting, they like him. They think he's really good. He's impressive to them. So push forward with that. Let him keep. Hopefully he won't stop because he's the only thing you've got in that contest right now. Hopefully they figure that out. Putting the clock on him for every dunk works and certain things. Hopefully they figure that. But then the game itself, it's tough. That 200-point thing, 190 whatever to 190 whatever last year, that was really difficult. Maybe this is more of what they need to do. All right, we'll hit another basketball name here in a second. But first, I wanted to get Anwar's thoughts on that. I may leave some of these for Anwar for tomorrow, but I did notice this one. Ice-T turned 67 yesterday. First off, how old does that make you feel? Top 15 rappers of all time. Ice-T. You think? Maybe. I was going to go top 10, and then I thought, I don't know, maybe it's a little further down the line. Rap people, let me know. If you're a rap fan, is Ice-T that level? Is he that good? Or is it a little bit different? A little different. There we go. By the way, the Ben G throwing in on the dunk contest. Unreal expectations. I don't know, Ben. I don't think it's unreal that I think Ja Morant should want to do it. That I think the freak, just whoever, when you watch games and you watch freaky dunkers, like the last guy that was freaky on the court that actually wanted to do it, I guess is Blake Griffin. It was fun watching Blake catch lobs and dunk, and then he dunked over the car and he did some cool things. Who's the guy that blew the candle out on the cupcake? Dwight Howard. I thought Dwight Howard's era was cool. And there were certain guys. I just don't, I want it to be highly sought after. But even if you go back in the day, it wasn't like Michael did it every single year. It wasn't like Dominique did it eventually those guys kind of back out. They'll do it a little bit and back out. But like Kobe and LeBron never really had their time of, all right, I'm going to do this for 2 or 3 years and establish myself and go. You just kind of have spots of it. Vince Carter, the 25th anniversary got celebrated, and then you got some stuff along the way. But it's just a weird time right now. So I'm trying to dig it. I'm trying to dig it for what it is. But there's something about the Mac McClung thing that it's just weird. It's very strange to me. All right, let's see. Somebody just throwing colors. There you go. Yep, I'm your pusher in the tower. He's an actor now for a reason. Damn. Okay, there you go. Luke is definitely selling. Definitely selling. Let's see. Yeah. Ben G says, Chad, do you remember players out there taking 15 minutes to finally nail 2 dunks? Yeah, Ben, that was a bad time too. And now the key to McClung isn't just McClung. It's that he seems to hit his dunks on the first try. Nobody else does. Nobody else. Like they're trying creative stuff, but they miss and then they miss and then they miss. And over a minute and a half, you eventually get there. McClung is getting credit for what I think he should get credit for. It's inventive, it's creative, and he nails it the first time. Like he hit all of his dunks, I think, first shot, and they all got 50s. Then you just kind of go. So, it is what it is. I mean, there's moments when it's great. And S. Roan, it was cool to revisit the Vince Carter in 2000. It was awesome. It was awesome. And he wanted it. He wanted to do it. And I think that's what we're kind of missing right now. The guys wanting to do it, the right guys wanting to do it. With all due respect to whoever that dude was from the Spurs that's in the dunk contest. I can't tell you his name. But that guy needs to want to do it. He doesn't need to get to do it. That's the difference. That's what I talk about all the time when you're trying to build offensive line in college. The guys that get to play shouldn't be the guys that get to play. Should be the guys that want. Everybody can want to play, but you shouldn't just be a guy that just, it's the one we got. Hey, he wants to play, so we're playing. No, you need to be playing the guys that get to play because there's a big group that wants it. That's what the dunk contest should be. It's just not that. It is not that. And Ben, I think I would agree with you. If you'll say last great showcase, the other one I would put up was Dwight Howard. I thought Dwight Howard had some moments where there was some freaky stuff going on. And maybe Blake Griffin too. But Vince was amazing. Yeah, it was incredible. Wow, that's old school Cotton. Kenny Skywalker. Yeah, it's a fun event. It is a fun event. I still watch them every year, even though they've revamped the scoring and the 3-point, which I don't think makes sense. I watch it. It's fun. Let's see what they do. And the dunk contest is always cool. All right. And finally, just to check in on the old folks and see if we have some young folks in today. One of my favorite birthday doubles happens today. 2 of the GOATs, according to many folks. Buy or sell number 5, Michael Jordan and Jim Brown share a birthday. Jim Brown still on your running back Mount Rushmore, and Michael Jordan is the clear number 1 of all time in basketball. For me, this is a buy. Very simply. You can't talk about running backs. If you get to 5 running backs and you haven't said Jim Brown, I think you've missed it. And I didn't get to see it live either. I've only seen highlights. I understand that everybody loves to talk about the era and all that. You got to have Jim Brown in there. To me, I'm going to still be that older guy that says, give Brown his love. Then we'll start having the discussion of Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, whoever you want to talk about. But we got to have Jim Brown in there. Happy birthday to the legend of Jim Brown. Unfortunately left us in 2023. Michael Jordan, 62 today, by the way. So any of you younger folks out there, you ready to go? Anybody want to throw anybody want to like have a LeBron conversation, anything like that? Cotton says bye. Esron says bye. Yeah. You good? Yeah. I know there's some people that as LeBron continues to be this good, this old, they want to put LeBron, they want to use that to put LeBron above MJ. I don't do that. But if you want to, sure. What that's going to do, by the end of LeBron, here's what LeBron's going to be to me. And by the way, I like this Mount Rushmore. Jim Brown, Emmett Berry, and Peyton. That's a good group, Esron. There are some people that may actually argue with whether or not 22 deserves to be on that list, but I'm a Cowboys guy, so I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to sweat that one. I like that idea. What my eyes got to see, I'm not sure if I saw anything better than Walter Payton in my life. And Barry Sanders is amazing. But in his prime, Walter Payton, the full combo of everything he did, I thought he was just the badass of all badasses to me. So I would definitely make sure Payton's in my top 4. But I like yours. I definitely like yours there. And this is somebody just throwing in a 34. Now, yeah, I'm assuming that 34 could be a lot of things, but I'm assuming you mean Earl as a 34. Yeah, that's a good one too. If you want to throw Earl in, I'll let anybody do that. Anybody. Big Cheddar says Jordan is my GOAT, but I'll listen to arguments for LeBron. Okay. Yeah. Cool Hand says the same thing. Cool Horn, Luke, says that he would agree with that as well. Okay. Yeah, we can listen to the discussions. Yeah, we can have that discussion. I like the fact that right now LeBron is sitting. Not that team feels like they're going to win another title, but LeBron, let's see if I get this right. LeBron and Steph are both sitting at 4 titles. And that's one away from a really important step up to me when you get into Magic, Kobe, Tim Duncan, that 5 club. You know, obviously you go up to where Michael is and others, but when you get into that 5 world, that's a whole nother place. I'm interested to see if one of those guys can get there. That would be, that would be interesting. And to S. Roan, a lot of people would agree with this one. Emmett playing with the separated shoulder does it for me. Woo, S. Roan. What a performance that was from Emmett. God, beat the Giants that day. It's cold as hell. 158, 160, whatever, maybe as much as 180. Can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, honest with the separated shoulder, I can still see that game. Pat Summerall and John Madden calling that game. Absolutely. Good stuff. Sounds like Esron wants to throw a basketball Mount Rushmore. He likes a Jordan, Wilt, Kareem, Bird, LeBron. Okay, just the 5. Okay, I'll give you your 5. Jordan, Wilt, Kareem, Bird, and LeBron. Damn. Esron, I don't know who you're playing. I feel bad for them, though. I feel bad for them. If this is the group, I get the best of all of that. Are you crazy? First off, let's start with one key question. Who brings the ball up the floor? Because 3 of those guys can do it, for sure. Let's put Wilt and Kareem down on the other end. Let's take Cap and Wilt. Send them to the block. Or send them wherever you want. Send them to the corner, send them to a wing, and then you just pick between Michael, Larry, and LeBron for who brings it up the floor, and use the other 2 for whatever your next idea is. Holy hell. I might let Bird bring the ball up the floor. That might be how I would attack with that group. Let's send Jordan, Wilt, Kareem, and LeBron up the floor, and Larry brings it up. Oh, dear God. You talk about transition 3s occasionally for Larry Bird. Holy moly. That's a good thought, S. Roan. I like it. Yep. That just makes me happy. Cotton throwing in the group of, hang on, Cotton. Did I get it right? There it is. Magic, Dr. J, Shaq. Yeah, that's a good group too. Good group too. I'm a Magic fan, Cotton. He's always been in my kind of all-time top 5 as I'm thinking about it. Like, Magic's a beast. That would be incredible too. Somebody threw Kobe in. Cotton's a good guy to mention. Cotton, I don't know if you watched any of the All-Star game. Here's what I thought as I was watching. What would Kobe think of this? Because Kobe was the last of not the last, but he was a member of this kind of a last group of just, it's a different breed, man. Guys that cared when they didn't have to care. Guys that had an edge when they didn't have to have an edge. And I thought, what would Kobe Bryant do if I told him, hey, Kobe, they're going to do 2 separate games to 40, and they're going to have the all-star, the shooting stars, like the rookie and sophomore team. They're going to have them play this group. Then they're going to have this group play this group. And they're each going to play to 40, and then we're going to have a final game to 40. And he's going to be like, why? And I was like, well, because last year was 190-something to 190-something. They didn't play any defense. Like, I don't know if Kobe even watches that. I don't know. Just a thought in my head. Tim Duncan's another guy I thought of watching that game. Like, would Timmy D even care about a game like this? What is happening? Go watch the moment when Charles Barkley's team wins the semifinal and the moment that the team, was it Shaq's team, that ultimately won it all with Steph? Look at the baskets that won it. Just uncontested bunny layup and uncontested double, just a quick flush dunk because nobody cared to guard him in that moment. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for putting Kobe's name out there. I like that. S. Roan's got a different starting five. Magic, Jordan, Bird, Duncan, and Hakeem. Different thing. That's a good group right there. Hakeem was always my guy, S. Roan. I'd bring him off the bench for Kareem. I'd go Kareem, Hakeem, that double if I could. I always thought that'd be a great way to do it. Big Cheddar says Jordan, Magic, LeBron, Wilt, and Duncan. That'd be stupid. If you have I'm sorry, if no disrespect to the other two guys, but if you have a five where Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Tim Duncan are on the floor together, wow. I almost don't care who your other two are. But when your other two are the weapon of LeBron and the freakishness of a Wilt Chamberlain, oh my God, that's awesome. That is good. Yes, Cotton, you're right. Kobe would be the one to figure out a way to D up everybody. That's what would be happening. That's what I missed watching that game. Fantastic stuff. All right, there's my buy or sell. Thank you all for jumping in on that. Again, we will be back tomorrow with the new modcast, if you will. If you haven't been following along in this time of year, Catch has been taking an administrative day on Tuesdays to handle boss stuff and orange blood stuff. Plus, again, this week he's handling the deal with this funeral of a friend of his, and I know that's obviously taken a lot of his thought. All the best going out to that family dealing with that, and all of you that might be dealing with losing someone. Football with Friends at 6 tonight. Old Fashioned tomorrow morning at 9, and then we will get you that special modcast at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully Anwar's Wi-Fi will be a lot better. Alex Dunlap, of course, will join, and then Jason Sukamel. Not that Jason's not always interesting to talk to. He always is, especially about recruiting, and Jason was up in Dallas at Melissa specifically, Max Wright's territory, to check out that Under Armour camp. And we'll get his thoughts on who he got to see, who stood out. Be looking for that 321 article from Jason. Jason and I'll have the recruiting show for you on Wednesday at 10 as well. All right. I think that'll be about it. S. Roan verify. Oh, S. Roan, I get it. I'm from Houston. So yeah, Hakeem. Yeah, I know. Since I'm a little older than you and maybe a Dallas area guy, I'm going to lean Kareem over Hakeem, but it's not a diss on Hakeem. Like he's incredible. He and Kareem have the same, in a way, they're the same to me when you have a big guy like that, that's that fluid, that the feet are that good in their prime, and that they they invent a shot no one can guard. Those guys are incredible. And so whether it's the sky hook or it's the dream shake, the dream shot, I mean, either way, you get all that. All right. And yes, keep all of the, keep your eyes peeled on this Texas coaching stuff. Anwar's got the very latest for you there. Hit orangebloods.com. Let me throw up the code one more time. Orangebloods.com for Anwar and the very latest on this running back situation, that coach getting filled. And then Texas does not need a new strength and conditioning coach because Tory Becton is staying. NFL came a-calling. Another Aggie came a-calling. Aaron Glenn of the Jets trying to fill out his new staff. But Tory Becton ultimately is going to stay in Austin. All right. Thank you guys for jumping in. Thank you for liking and subscribing and getting those notifications. We appreciate you. Damn near 900 of you in the Specs chat as we get ready to close up. Remember that wine sale continues at Specs. Thanks to all of our great partners for being just that. Hope you guys had a great Valentine's weekend. Hope you're having a good President's Day and some cold weather coming in the middle of the week. So enjoy the good weather today if you have it. Thank you for supporting Orange Bloods Live. Again, Football with Friends comes up at 6 this evening. Hope everybody has a great rest of your President's Day, and we will talk to you tomorrow at 12 for the Modcast. Y'all take care. See you.